Yeah, we'll start. Let me share my screen. Yeah, right. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Utapatakamanam Shri Gurum Vaisnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Mitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vranda Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarupyascha Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktaranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Reading from chapter, reading from Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. A book,
Chapter 3.
it's a book, uh, reading from Elevation to Krishna Consciousness. It's a Prabhupada small books. It's a sequentially we are reading. Chapter 3. Toward a peaceful society. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Shariram Kaunteya Kshetram iti abhidhiyate etadyo veti tampa Prabhu Kshetrajna iti tad vida Kshetrajna iti tad vidaha. The Supreme Lord said, this body, Vasana Kunti, is called the field, and one who knows this body is called the knower of the field. 13th chapter, 2nd verse. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Godhead, Krishna, is instructing Arjuna about the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetra refers to the field, which is the body, and Kshetrajna refers to the knower of the field, who is the individual soul. If land is to be cultivated, there must be some cultivator. And if this body, which is likened unto a field, is to be cultivated, there must be a proprietor who can cultivate it. It's nothing but a soul, individual soul. Now we have these material bodies, and it is our duty to cultivate them properly. That cultivation is called a karma or work. A person may come to our place with a hoe to cultivate land, or he may come to simply drink coffee or tea. We have been given this particular kind of type of body to cultivate and attain required sense objects according to our desires. This body is a gift from God. God is very kind, and if someone wants something from him, he allows it. All right, he says, all right, take this. All right, yeah, take this. His relationship to us is just like the relationship of a father to a son. The son may insist upon getting something from father, and the father may try to convince him that what he wants is not for his good, saying, my dear son, don't touch this. This is not good for you. But when the boy insists upon it, the father will allow him to have it. The affectionate father gives the son just what he wants. Similarly, the Supreme Father gives his sons and daughters just what they want. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that all beings in all species of life are his children. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavaniya sambhavantiya tasham brahma mahadionir aham bija pradapita sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya tasham brahma mahadionir aham bija pradapita. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Read it.
It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed giving father. Bhagavad Gita 14.4. In this material world, the mother, the Prakriti, which is material nature, supplies us with the body, and the Supreme Father impregnates this matter with living souls. There is an erroneous theory current that only human beings have souls and that other living entities do not. But we understand the Vedic authority that there are 8,400,000 species of bodies, including plants and trees, and that they all
8
have
lakhs
souls.
కాదు.
Otherwise, they would not.
8 lakhs కాదు, 84 lakhs species
Uh,
in our
uh,
Indian currency. It's just but in US 8,400,000. That's a million number. So we have to say here in India 84 lakhs. 84 lakhs
84
species.
lakhs. Okay.
It's a body.
Uh,
Read it,
80,
yeah.
84 lakh species of bodies, including plants and trees, and that they all have souls. Otherwise, they would not be able to develop and grow. In this verse, Sri Krishna claims that all living entities, regardless of the forms they take in this material world, are his sons, and that they are related to him as son is related to his father. This
Mm.
Krishna consciousness is especially meant for understanding the position of the soul and its relationship with the God. Kshetragnam chapi mam vitti sarva kshetreshu bharata kshetra kshetragnuro jnanam yattaj jnanam matam mama. Ocean of Bharata. You should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies, and to understand this body and its owner is called knowledge. That is my opinion. Bhagavad Gita 13.3. If you meditate upon this body and study whether or not we are actually the body, we will come to the conclusion that we are Kshetrajna, the knower of the body, but not the body. If we should if we study our finger and consider whether or we are the finger, we will come to the conclusion that we are not the finger or any other part of the body, but that the finger, the arms, the legs, the head, etc. are our fingers, arms, legs, etc. In this way we can come to the conclusion that we are not these bodies, but that the bodies belong to us. Therefore, we say, this is my body. Unfortunately, people in this modern civilization never stop to inquire what they are or who they are. They are simply laboring hard, working hard all day in an office or factory under the impression that I am this body. And if we ask people who they are, they reply, I am Hindu, I am Muslim, I am Swedish, I am American, I am Christian, etc. These are various identifications or designations of the body. But the fact is that we are not these bodies. The body is simply the field of our activities. We are no more the body. We are no more the body than the cultivator of a field is the field.
There are different kinds of bodies and different activities in accordance to the different types of bodies. A dog enjoys one kind of activity, a cat enjoys another, and a human enjoys another. There are differences of activity due to differences of body. When we come to the platform of truth, however, and understand that we are not these bodies, then our activities change from material activities to spiritual activities. As long as we are operating under the bodily conception of life, our activities are material. But as soon as we understand, I do not belong to this body, Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit soul, our activities will be in accordance to that realization. That is to say, that they will cease to be motivated from the material or bodily platform. Knowledge of our proper identity as separate from the body is real knowledge, but this knowledge is denied as long as we cling to bodily identification. In scriptures, it is said that as long as we are in this bodily conception of life, our activities will be defeated. Defeated. A child is born in ignorance, and if as he grows older, he remains under the bodily conception of life, he lives in darkness. His position is that of a Shudra. In the Vedic literatures, we find that in this age, everyone is born a Shudra. Therefore, everyone requires to be educated as to his real identity. If, however, we remain satisfied with our birth by our father and mother, we will remain in our condition as Shudra. We have to rise to the Brahminical platform by following the purificatory processes. As mentioned before, there are four basic characteristics of an impure life. illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling. According to the Vedic principles, sex should be not indulged in outside of marriage. In human society, there is therefore a system of marriage which distinguishes us from the cats and dogs. Whether we are Hindu, Muslim, or Christian, we acknowledge the system of marriage. The purpose of this system is to avoid illicit sex. According to the Vedic system, intoxication is also discouraged, nor is meat eating advocated. For human beings should be non-violent. We have been given sufficient grains, fruits, milk, and vegetables, and there is no necessity to kill poor animals. Some people argue that if we do not eat meat, we will be undernourished. But we can see
Nourished.
the undernourished. But we can see that the students of this Krishna consciousness movement have given up meat and are very healthy, whereas people who are eating meat are still, despite their meat eating, subject to so many diseases and unhealthy conditions. Gambling is also discouraged because it simply agitates the mind. Read.
This is purificatory process by which one can become a Brahmana. This path is open to everyone. A Brahmana is one who is truthful and pure, tolerant and simple, full of knowledge and faith in God. He can control his mind and his senses also. At the present moment, there is a great necessity for Brahmanas because almost everyone is the Shudra, for almost everyone is wholly engaged in maintaining the body, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. All symptoms of animals and Shudras. Society cannot be peaceful unless there are four divisions of human beings functioning in harmony with one another. These four divisions are comprised of Brahmana, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. These are discussed by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita in this way. Chaturvarnam maya shrishtam gunakarma vibhagasha tasya kartaram apimam vidya akartaram avyayam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Bhagavad Gita 4.13. These four divisions of men in the human society are natural, not artificial, because in the material world everything is operating under the influence of the three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. As long as we are in the material world, it is not possible to classify everyone in the same category because each and every person is working under the influence of the three modes of material nature. However, when we transcend the material plane, there is oneness. At that time, all divisions fall apart. The question is therefore how to transcend the modes of material nature. And the transcendent is the very process of Krishna consciousness. As soon as we become situated in Krishna consciousness, we become transcendental.
Transcendental to the modes of material nature. Mam chayavya bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityayitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not follow in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. 14th chapter, 26th verse. Thus, one who is engaged in Krishna conscious activity is at once elevated to the transcendental position. By nature, we are not matter, but Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. The philosophy of Sankaracharya is mainly based on the principle that we should not think that we are products of this material nature. It is by some unfortunate accident that we are in contact with material nature. Actually, our nature is that of spirit Brahman, and that nature has to be invoked. This material life is a diseased condition. When we are situated in Brahman, we are in our healthy condition. That healthy Brahman condition is immediately attained as soon as we engage ourselves 100% in Krishna consciousness. When we transcend material nature through the rendering service unto Krishna, what is our status? Do we become zero? Some philosophies maintain that after liberation from material life, after the nirvana of this material body, we become zero, void. That is a dangerous theory. By nature, the living entity is not attracted to zero. We may be diseased and suffering from so many elements. But if our doctor comes and says, let me finish your ailments by killing you, we will immediately say, no, 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 better let me suffer from this disease. We do not want to be killed just to end our miseries. Thus, the theory that after material life there is void is not at all attractive, nor is it a fact. We are Satchit Ananda Vigraha, Brahma Samhita, 5th chapter, 1st verse. Eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge, and part and parcel of Supreme. The Supreme Lord is Satchidananda Vigraha, and we are qualitatively one with Him. We are qualitatively one with Him. Although very small, a drop of seawater is as salty as the sea, and although we are but spiritual atoms, we have the same properties as the Supreme Spirit whole. There is no question of being void. For as living entities, our spiritual properties are all there in infinite variegatedness. If, however, out of the frustration of material existence, we commit suicide, we do not end our miseries, we simply create other miseries. If one attempts suicide but does not succeed or is somehow revived, he is subject to being punished under state law. Similarly, the laws of nature treat suicides as criminal acts. We are to end this material life only after finding out of the true blissful life of eternity. We should not simply be trying to end the miseries of this life simply out of frustration, but we should engage ourselves in activities that will raise us to spiritual life. The four divisions of human society. You want to read? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Net connection. Yeah, carry on.
The four divisions of human society were created by Sri Krishna in order to facilitate this processes of elevation. Just as a student is elevated from a lower class to a postgraduate class, the divisions of labor, Chaturvarnam, are created to elevate us from the lowest stages of consciousness to the highest stage of Krishna consciousness. This process is a process of cooperation. In the human body, the most important part is the head, and then the arms, then the belly, and the legs. Although the head is considered to be the most important part, there is no question of neglecting the legs, any other part. Similarly, in the divisions of human society, no one is, no one, in the human society, no one division is important to the exclusion of the others. Of these divisions, the Brahmanas are considered to be the intellectual class, the class of teachers. The Kshatriyas are the administrative and military class, and the Vaishyas are the mercantile and agriculture class. The Shudras are the common laborer class who helps to all these three varnas. In a property, in a properly run society, all of these classes are required. If they cooperate in their progress towards Krishna consciousness, there is no strife among us them. You wanna read?
Here, I would like to say something. In Bhagavatam also it says the same thing, because Krishna is created four varnas, four ashramas, so that they cooperate each other. Like Brahmana used to give advice to the Kshatriya to run kingdom, and this Vaishyas they have to earn money and they have to give some Brahmanas, and labor they have to work for the higher three class, so that the society will run like with cooperatively, harmoniously, so that everyone will dedicate some time to some Siddhir Haritoshanam, whatever in their way. Yeah.
Good. Okay, read that. Read.
Hello.
Yeah, read it.
In the present social in the present
Right.
social status, we find that they are existing in these
Ah,
Are you able to hear me?
yeah, I'm unable to hear you.
Wait.
That's why I
Are you
yes.
able to hear me?
Now I'm hearing, but you sit in a
Hello?
proper place.
Can you hear?
You no, just hold on. You just sit in a proper place where network, network is good. Network signal is good. Strong network signal, so that you will be able to use data properly. You will be able to connect properly. That's why I repeatedly mentioned many times. Sit in a proper place where you have good signal, then you read it. Can you read now?
Are you able to hear me?
Uh,
Okay, 1 minute.
in the present social status, we find that we are existing in these four divisions. ఒకటే విషయము, మళ్ళీ యూ కెన్ జాయిన్ రైట్. అట్లా ఇంటర్నెట్ ప్రాబ్లం అయితే leave meeting and join again. Okay. In the present social status, we find that we are existing in these four divisions, but there is no cooperation. Everyone is dissatisfied. Today, there is a great strife between the capitalist class and labor class, because between them there is no compromise. There is only friction. All this strife among us the classes is due to lack of Krishna consciousness. Indeed, there is not even a possibility of cooperation unless there is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is absolutely essential for harmonizing all facets of human society, regardless of what class we belong to. If we cooperate in Krishna consciousness, there will be peace in the world. Thus, Krishna consciousness is the utmost necessity for all divisions of society. Every chapter and every conclusion of Bhagavad Gita aim toward Krishna consciousness. Sri Krishna, who is speaking Bhagavad Gita, is always stressing devotion to his personal self. Manmanabhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, 65th verse. Throughout Bhagavad Gita, we find this word, mom stressed. Mom means unto me. Mom means unto me, meaning unto Krishna. But there are many miscreants who are interpreting this mom to mean everyone. When I say, bring me a glass of water, does it mean that I want you to bring everyone a glass of water? The individuality is there, but by jugglery of words, they interpret me or I to mean everyone. Consequently, when Krishna says, I, the miscreants identify this, I with themselves. This is a gross misinterpretation. Although Bhagavad Gita is very popular in the world, due to this misinterpretation by mundane scholars, it has not been properly understood. Bhagavad Gita clearly explains that this Chaturvarnyam system was established by Krishna, but he is outside of this system. When Krishna comes as an incarnation, he does not come as a member of any social order, not as a Brahmana or anything else. When Krishna came, he came as a son of Devaki and Vasudeva. Vasudeva belonged to the royal family and was therefore a Kshatriya. As such, Krishna played the part of a Kshatriya. But this does not mean that Krishna belonged to the Kshatriya class. There are many incarnations of Krishna in many forms of life. In one incarnation, he appeared as a fish, as a member of the community of fishes. But this does not mean that he is a fish. If we think upon seeing a fish that it belongs to Krishna's family, we are mistaken. Of course, from another point of view, everything is Krishna, but Krishna is aloof from everything. This is the transcendental nature of Krishna. And if we understand it, we will be liberated from birth and death. Although Krishna has established the four divisions of human society, he is not in any one of them. Tasya Tasya kartaram api mam vidya akartaram avyayam. As soon as we understand that although Krishna was born into a Kshatriya family, he is not a Kshatriya. We actually become liberated. If we think that because Krishna acts in a particular way, as on the battlefield, he gave instructions to Arjuna to fight, he is bound by the reactions of his activities. We are mistaken. Works do not works do not defile me. Sri Krishna says, Namam karmani limpanti. In conclusion, we must accept the fact that when Krishna comes as one of us, he is not in actuality one of us. He is transcendental. This fact we must learn by submissive inquiry from authoritative sources, such as Bhagavad Gita or a spiritual master who is fully realized in Krishna consciousness. Are you there? Hello? Are you there?
Read?
Yeah, you can read that last two paragraphs.
Are you able to hear?
Yeah, I am able to hear.
Just a minute. Just a second. Today, all facets of human society are thinking that their self interest is in maintaining this body. Consequently, today's society is simply a society of cats and dogs and hogs. From Vedic literatures, we can understand that we don't have to work hard all day simply to maintain this body. We are working very we are working very hard because we are trying to control material nature for the purpose of sense gratification. One who one who can come to understand that Krishna is the root of everything, the origin of everything, can understand the meaning of Ishvara Krishna. Brahma Samhita 5.1. Krishna is the supreme controller. In the universe, there are many Ishwaras or controllers. Krishna is the
Hello? Hello? Hare Krishna? Hare Krishna. Okay, today all facets of human society are thinking, ఏంటిది network? Okay, I will talk to you after this call. Today all facets of human society are thinking that their self-interest is maintaining this body. Self-interest is in maintaining this body. Consequently, today's society is simply a society of cats and dogs and hogs. From Vedic literatures, we understand that we don't have to work hard all day simply to maintain this body. We are working very hard because we are trying to control material nature for the purposes of sense gratification. One who can come to understand that Krishna is the root of everything, the origin of everything, can understand the meaning of Ishvara Parama Krishna. Brahma Samhita 5th chapter, 1st verse. Krishna is the supreme controller. In the universe, there are many Ishvaras or controllers. But Krishna, okay, in the universe, there are many Ishvaras or controllers. But Krishna is the supreme among all of them. Krishna consciousness gives us this knowledge. Without it, we will remain ignorant of our real self-interest. Real ignorant of our self-interest. Modern society is in dire need of intellectual persons or brahmanas who can broadcast real spiritual knowledge all over the world. That is an absolute necessity for a society which is working hard simply to exploit nature. If people try to understand this Krishna consciousness movement scientifically and philosophically with their best knowledge and judgment and try to cooperate, there will be peace all over the world. In essence, the method is very simple. We need only chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, and follow the regulative principles mentioned before. Regulative principles: no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. By following the regulative principles, we will be avoiding the four pillars of sinful life. And chanting the Hare Krishna mantra will be associating with God constantly. Thus, there will be peace among all classes of men.
Hare Bol.
So, very good. Very good. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Shri.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. So, peace formula, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, in different lectures, Maharajas and different, of course, Prabhupada also, different devotees mentioned. Peace formula is just simple. We have to identify. So there is a supreme person, Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhrudam Sarva Bhutanam. There is a one more last line I forgot anyway. So Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the supreme person. Then why do we deal? We have to understand his teachings. We have to understand and
Supremacy.
realize past times, and we have to serve him. That is the best peace formula. So what is that peace formula is? Just we have to associate with the Lord by chanting holy names,
Hare Krishna
following
Mahamantra.
Hare Krishna Mahamantra, by following four regulative principles,
Principles.
and that can lead to sinless life, because those four regulative principles
Are the
always
pillars.
always bound by karmic reactions, because those are the sinful life. Sin is nothing but it's a karmic reactions. Whatever you are doing bad, you will equal amount of, and exact opposite you will get returns. So that's what it is. So in order to sinless life, we have to strictly follow four regulative principles. So that leads to uh, what is that?
Peaceful life.
Four pillars of that leads to four pillars of sinless life: truthfulness, tolerance, satyam, shaucham, dharma. There are four things I exactly forgot. So by avoiding these four regulative, by following by avoiding these bad four things, by following these regulative principles, no meeting, etc., it definitely leads to a blissful life. Definitely, but it's very hard. We have to try. We have to try until we get some taste in holy names, and we feel, oh, this is the process we get uh, by understanding, by practicing bhakti. We will definitely get the eternal happiness within this life only. So how otherwise in ISKCON society, how many we have seen many sannyasis who are serving this mission when Prabhupada established Giriraj Swami Maharaj, Radhana Swami Maharaj, Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and recently passed away that Maharaj,
Bhakti
Bhakti
Charan.
Char
Bhakti
Swami
Charan.
Maharaj. So why? Because they also, this is the best means, best process. They are, they feel
Realize.
happy. They're serving. They have realizations. They stick to the path, and they feel eternal happiness in this path, because serving is Guru's orders and serving ultimately Krishna
Krishna.
by
Yes.
distributing the spiritual knowledge, spreading this knowledge far and wide. So let us chant three times Hare Krishna and close this call. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Rama. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila
Jai
Gurudev
Shri
ki
Gurudev
jai.
ki jai.